It was a great tournament in the Olympics for basketball, both men's and women's. The women's championship game, it was really ugly, admittedly, some really bad basketball being played, but it was a fun game and a fun tournament all in all. USA wins again. They haven't lost an Olympic game in something like 20 years or some crazy shit like that. The Team USA men's, it was an incredible tournament, a lot of fun. The Serbia game was amazing. The gold medal game obviously was incredible. And look at these numbers. The gold medal game did gangbusters ratings-wise. USA versus France, 19.6 million views. It is the most watched basketball game since 2016 by a lot. And at its peak, I saw, this is a real source, by the way, because I had to double check it because it was Clark Report, Caitlin Clark Report. I had to make sure that this was correct. It is correct. The peak viewership for this game was 22.6 million during the final quarter. So a ton of people tuned in to watch. What can the NBA learn from this? What can the NBA learn from this? It's no secret the ratings haven't really been where the NBA wants them to be. Right? Over the past couple of years, the finals ratings, they kind of continuously are dipping. The playoff ratings aren't as high as you would like them to be. The marquee matchups aren't as high as you want them to be. Now, there's a couple reasons for this. I would say a lot of it has to do with the fact that a lot of these games are on TNT or on ESPN. Those are cable channels that you have to have certain packages for, right? A lot of this also has to do with the fact, and I actually genuinely believe there's a reason for this. The games, you don't know when they're starting. That sounds stupid, but I actually think it factors into the ratings. Where the Olympic games, hey, the games start at 7:30. The game's starting at 7:30. The game starts at 2. The game starts at 2. NBA's like, the game starts at 2, guys. It's 2:36. You're like, is this game happening? Is there a delay? Like, what's happening here? So what can the NBA take away from this? Now, it's not necessarily fair because the single elimination aspect of this all, the do or die game, obviously means that these games are going to be much more important. I'm assuming the Iowa-South Carolina game, 18.9 million, that was the championship game, right? I'm assuming that's the game that this is referring to, the NCAA Women's Championship game this past year. So the winner go home game will always have higher stakes that people are more interested in. And the NBA, unless it gets to a game 7, doesn't really have that. But there are some other things. There are some other things that the NBA can take away. Obviously, having Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James all sharing the court together on the same team, you're not going to have that either. I mean, I would assume not, at least not in the coming years. But the fact that it's on NBC bodes well for the future because we know NBC landed NBA rights. They're going to be broadcasting some NBA games in the near future. They did a great job, I thought. They did a tremendous job during this tournament. The presentation was great. The music, I mean, you can't beat Hardball Rock. It's incredible. Noah Eagle did a really, really good job, and I hope that he is a part of their future, which I'd assume he is. I like that the halftime shows were brief, and there wasn't a 7-person desk. Now, that's because that's how they just do it for the Olympics, the FIBA rules and stuff. The halftimes are shorter, but no one likes the fucking ESPN halftime shows. No one likes them. Okay? No one likes there being 8 people talking over each other for 30 seconds. It is the worst television that there is right now. Go and look at each individual television channel. Go watch the shows that air at 3 o'clock in the morning when they don't want anyone to watch. Go watch the infomercials, if that's still a thing. The channels that do nothing but infomercials for a full 30 minutes, I would much rather watch that than ESPN's halftime show for the NBA. It is the worst, most garbage product that has ever been brought to a consumer audience. Okay? All right. But the NBA, what can we take away? People like, and there's been a big misconception here, and I've grown to realize this because I used to think I liked FIBA refs more. The officiating of this tournament was atrocious. It was actually terrible. The refs sucked. Okay? So people say, I like the refs more. I like the rules more. I don't think that's true. I don't think you do. I hate the goaltending rule. I think it's stupid. I would never want it in the NBA when you can hit the ball off the rim. I think it's so dumb. I'm happy that that's not a rule in the NBA. Okay? I'm happy that's not a rule in the NBA. I think for the NBA, the three-point line needs to be longer. It just has to be because these guys are so good. A shorter 3-point line would just mean more points and more threes being bombed. Defensive 3 seconds, we could talk about it. Okay, we could talk about it. But with the court bigger, I don't think it would make a lot of sense. What people like is the flow of the game. Do the refs let, a little bit more contact go? Yeah, maybe. But the game just flows better. 10-minute quarters, I don't know if I would want that, but it's a running clock. You don't have to pass the ball to the ref. You can inbound immediately if you want. There's very little to no TV timeouts. When there are timeouts on the court, they're actually 60 seconds long. There's not a million commercial breaks. It just flows so well. And here's the thing about basketball. Basketball is a free-flowing game. The NFL can survive with there being 10 minutes of actual game action happening over the course of 3 hours and everybody tuning in because it's like a turn-based game. You know what it is? It's like, all right, we can chill and relax for the next minute, and we know that there's going to be a big play here in the next 30 seconds, right? Basketball is a free-flowing game. It's constant. It's up and down. So there being stoppages every 3 to 4 minutes so we can go to timeout. So there's a review. We have to do this. There's a review. 30-second timeout, except it's a 3-minute timeout. Now we're going to a commercial break. 1-minute timeout, except now it's a 5-minute timeout. And we're going to a commercial break. TV timeout. We're going to a commercial break. We're going to review this. We're going to a commercial break. It really impedes on the free-flowing nature of the game. It's the intensity. Dude, I watched so many NBA games. NBA games are intense, man. These guys try. They do. I know this has become this talking point that NBA players don't try during the regular season. NBA teams don't care. Yes, they do. They do. They play hard. They care. These guys are some of the most competitive people on the planet. They're playing to win. They're playing for contracts. They're playing for all of this shit. It literally is the stoppages. That's it. It is the stoppages. I'm telling you right now, if the NBA cut the TV timeouts from the equation and said, look, we'll go to commercials during timeouts, but we're not adding in TV timeouts. We'll figure out other ways to make up for it. And the game just kind of flowed better. I guarantee you it would be such a better product. It would just feel so much better watching. But they can't do that because they need money. Now, I'm wondering if Amazon coming into the fold means they can sort of change how they approach these things. They can change how they approach the broadcast because it is a new era. You could sell on screen, like it being on Amazon means you can literally have in the corner, hey, heard you might need a new Dawn dish soap. How the fuck do you know that? Oh, because I just heard you say it out loud to your wife. Okay, that's really weird. Now it's on the bottom right corner of the screen and I can click on it and just buy right there. We don't need a commercial break now. I don't even mind the announcer saying today's broadcast is sponsored by. Yeah, I agree. I had people, because I've been saying forever that the FIBA broadcasting is just 10 times better than the NBA broadcasting. And it is because of the flow of the game and the lower amount of commercial breaks. And people who I guess disagree will tweet me every now and then an ad break where it's half the screen is like a peek into the coaches during the timeout, in the huddle. And there'll be like an ad on the other half of the screen. And they're like, see, they still do it. Dude, I would much rather that. That's so much better than what we currently get, where it's just the same fucking 6 commercials on loop for 5 minutes. And it's really jarring when you're at the stadium. And it's like these timeouts are so long, especially in the playoffs. They are so long, and the players are just standing on the court. It's just like so wonky. It's just so wonky, and it messes with the flow of the game in a game that is very free-flowing. Now, it's funny I say that because college basketball is the worst culprit of this. Their games are borderline unwatchable. Borderline unwatchable with the amount of TV timeouts, the stoppages. It's terrible. But they get to the March Madness, and it is the one-game elimination hype. Part of why I think the NBA should maybe go back to a 5-game series for round 1. Just think about it. I mean, how often do you get a really, really fun and exciting first round of series? Feels very, very rarely. Let's go back to a 5-game series for round one. Less mileage on the players. The NBA playoffs already take too long. Like, they just do. It's insane how long they last. It really set in this year as the Mavericks fan. The dichotomy between last year, the Mavericks not making the playoffs at all, and sitting through that entire 2 to 3 month long process, versus them making the finals and we're in it, and the playoffs are 2 months long. Mavs versus Clippers, but you would have more entertaining series if you cut it down to best of 5. And they're never going to do it. They're never going to do it because it's money. But how could we convince them? How could we convince them that? Money's not the end all be all. Money's not the end all be all. Look, your ratings are taking a shit. I'm not really a ratings guy. I've said it all the time that I think football ratings are fake. I really do. They don't make any sense to me. Nobody I know cares that much about football. They're fucking fake. Investigate them. They might kill me for suggesting this. But the ratings are kind of taking a shit for the NBA. And it doesn't match up. It doesn't match up because anytime something basketball related happens, like the gold medal game, which gets 22 million viewers at its peak, shows people care about basketball and people want to watch basketball. Then when you go on Twitter on a random Tuesday night in January and LaMelo Ball has 46 points and just hit a 3 after breaking Eric Gordon's ankles, guess what the number one trending topic is on Twitter? It's LaMelo Ball. People care. No sport has more social media engagement than basketball. That's a true fact. That's a true fact that they've done studies on. No, it's true. The NBA has more social media engagement than any of the major sport leagues. Twitter's not real life. Well, it does give you a good indication of how many people care about your sport. And I disagree. I think social media in general, you want to be in the good graces of people on social media because that's usually a younger demographic. And in 20 years, that younger demographic is going to be the demographic that's going to be carrying your ratings in a lot of ways. It is funny how regular season goes for 6 months and the playoffs go for 2 months. The playoffs, I think, go on too long. People stop caring at a certain point, honestly. Or people are just like, I don't care, I'll wait till the finals. It's like 2 months. I think cutting the first round of 5 games could work. I mean, the more basketball for me, the better. I don't care. There being an 82-game schedule, yes, I like that. There's more basketball. There being a 3-month-long playoffs, yeah, cool. More basketball every night. I can look forward to playoff basketball. But if we're just talking about in the future, how can we improve ratings? How can we capitalize on this ginormous audience that clearly likes basketball and clearly wants to watch it? That's a huge number. I mean, that is a huge number. And I think it also helps that it was in the middle of the day on a Sunday. That they don't really do that. And when they do that, it doesn't really feel like they pump it up as much as they should. Like there's some really good ABC Sunday games. That crazy Mavs Nuggets game was a primetime ABC game on a Sunday. I'm trying to think of some other ones. I know that crazy Mavs Suns game from a year ago was on an ABC Sunday. I don't know. These are not international numbers. I think these are USA numbers. I really think it's how the NBA is broadcasted. I think there's too many commercial breaks. There's too many stoppages. It doesn't help that the national games are either covered by TNT, where the halftime crew and the postgame crew, who I love and are funny and they're entertaining, and if you're a basketball fan and you're looking to them for basketball takes, you shouldn't be doing that. But it doesn't help that they're laughing at the current NBA, making fun of the current NBA, talking shit about everybody in the current NBA pretty much, openly stating that they don't watch nor care about X amount of teams. And then the other one is ESPN, which is dog shit, which is going to infest every single game that's going on with whatever they want to talk about tomorrow. It could be the New York Knicks versus the Milwaukee Bucks. What a fun game. There's a 2 seed versus the 3 seed. This is a really important game. This could be a preview of a playoff matchup. Then we get to halftime. Is JJ Redick on the hot seat in LA? We don't give a fuck. NBA operates unlike any other sport right now with how the sport's broadcasted and talked about by its big media partners, which is a damn shame. There's so many smart people who love the game and talk about it in such a smart way, and it's just, this is why I'm okay with Inside the NBA being done. I have to be honest with you. I think its time has come to an end. I think its time has come to an end. It's fun. It's been funny. They watch less and less than they ever have. They know less and less than they ever have, which is saying a lot. But I wasn't that sad when it came out that TNT was done. It's good. TNT, it's time to move on. TNT's going to look like a dinosaur in 5 years. In 5 years from now, TNT will look like a dinosaur compared to like what Amazon has going on. The NFL media's coverage is a little bit better. It's way better. It is way better. You don't have like this constant, like, you might compare players, and I have no problem with this, comparing players to their counterparts who are currently in the league. That's all fine. That's cool because that kind of sparks the conversation, and then when those two players match up, you want to watch it. It's not like this historical overlying thing that it always is. It's not like, well, this player's good now, but back when I played in the 2000s, he wouldn't be able to average 30 points a game. He couldn't average 30 points a game in the 2000s. Like nobody's actually going on ESPN shows and they're like, dude, this guy couldn't throw for 4,000 yards 15 years ago, man. This guy couldn't do it. This guy wouldn't have had 12 touchdown catches 14 years ago. It's so stupid when you think about it. Yeah, the NFL doesn't clown their own product. They focus all their time on big market teams. And they don't focus all their time on big market teams. It's because they're fucking terrified. Like the NFL will lay down the hammer on them. They are scared. The NFL has broadcasting companies terrified because you don't want to lose the NFL. And you don't want to piss the NFL off. NBA is just like, we don't give a fuck, guys. What are you guys talking about today? Oh, our league sucks now and no one plays defense? Oh, you guys are crazy. Here's 2 Wednesday night games. Oh, wait, what's that? Your whole post-game cast is laughing about how they haven't watched games in weeks. Oh, here's 2 Thursday night games. You guys are a blast. You guys are so funny. Oh, man. What's this? The NBA All-Star Game's complete and total shit and everyone's making fun of it? Well, it is complete and total shit. Oh, you're great. Here's a first-round series. It's trash how the sport's talked about. And whenever I'm running the show, trust me, folks, these numbers, maybe add another 0. 190 million views.